Conquer community. Coach Dom here. Just wanted to talk to you today about just some programming work and just kind of go over some things that I look at and just one client in particular with just showing how an individual program works. So for her, I just am showing you the kind of remainder of her phase, kind of really in just one of these days that it looks at right in the middle of the second block of her kind of base phase after training post semifinals for the AG qualifier. And then as we kind of just transition into the new sector point of the year, our focus for like really the remainder of this block that we spoke about is just having she does 2 morning sessions a week right now, and one of them is a structured section or a session and where we hit an assault bike training one week, or the next week it might be a bike erg, maybe a rower, maybe a ski, and we do all the same things, and the next week we flip it around. It kind of varies, but on one of her days, she's a really good runner, and we chose to pick her to run, and I just have her doing whatever she feels like. So keeping it under 60 minutes and just kind of running nice and smooth and steady, no crazy paces. I don't normally prescribe something to that loose end degree for a lot of people, but for her, she has a big running background, and for that, for her AM sessions, we do a little bit of this easy running here for her. For her PM session, she trains at home, so she does a lot of these things by herself, but we're working on just really trying to completely balance out her lower half of her body and get her as strong as possible. So doing a lot of stuff with her calves, making sure her back is not giving out on her when we do squat and deadlift and stuff. So making sure her psoas is reacting correctly, her hip flexors. So for this kind of warm up and then into this prep portion here, we're getting into the adductors, we're getting into the midline, we're getting into the knee, bulletproofing, and just doing all these things just to kind of set us up for a really solid day. Right now we're staying in this power snatch phase and power clean phase, just hitting some technical positional work, which we've kind of been building, and you're seeing, again, like it's not just 6 weeks, it's been off a 12-week cycle. This is the last portion of it. And as we do go through this, you see like kind of the tail end of this, but building off some lighter weights for her and then building to a little bit heavier and possibly going for a couple singles at the end. Again, working on just moving a barbell a little bit more efficiently, not too crazy on the volume, just quick sets here. And then getting this again under a fatigued effort, because some things that we kind of struggle with, but again, it's not too crazy, not super heavy in percentage wise, but also very manageable for her to kind of move through to start her session off really on the right foot. The next piece, I've been playing around with a lot of these squatting and kind of hamstring building through this. So working a lot of her hamstring engagement. So working a full double-legged squat into this hamstring, like really focus movement, which is these Nordic hamstring curls. I've done a lot of stuff with the knees over toes, and I've really enjoyed that and found a lot of benefit to that. So I've seen a lot of progress here for her. She may tell you that it is the worst thing she's ever done in the world, but it's getting better, and we just keep practicing it, getting those hamstrings strong. And you see a lot of payover later on with the positional work from the ground as we're getting into these positions of segmented clean deadlifts and snatch deadlifts. Her positions become a lot more straighter, a lot stronger in that lower back because her hamstrings can hold that position a lot longer. And then at the end of the day, we're working on just some easier aerobic work for her, especially going into handstand walking. So a higher skill gymnastics. For her, this is a tough skill, so we're not going crazy on the volume. It is over time, but we've been playing around with this outside of it. We're going to keep sprinkling it in and out of aerobic work because, again, a lot of times when she does aerobic work, it is very minimalistic and it doesn't really bother her too much. She's able to kind of pace through that very nicely. At the end of the day, just kind of wrapping up shop with just some housekeeping. We call this accessory work. I do accessory work in a lot of different variations, but for her, she's going to do the work no matter what I put, so I can write it very simply, just some kind of plank work, and then some oblique work. So just really focusing in on this whole session is just a full body. It's a lower focus, but it's a full body kind of repair at the end. So working on that midline, working on that trunk stabilization, working on a little rotation in there, just to kind of cap it off after doing this stuff in the beginning with the Cossacks lunges, the hollow holds, the Poliquin step ups, and then again, also the stuff we did in the warm up. So a full session today, just so you can see into the eyes of, or into the program of one of my clients. We have people all throughout here in all different variances, and you can do this same program and completely flip it around the same style where you do a power snatch segment, a squatting segment, and then maybe someone lacks a front squat position, so working more on the quad and a positional squat work. So you could do bottoms up front squats and then go into some cyclist squats, things like that. Yeah, that's really it for today, guys, and have a good one. And hopefully this gives you some insight into program design. See ya.